This is how the card reader works. Hand over your PVC to the INEC staff. The officer clicks on verification and places your card right under the card reader, capturing the image on your PVC. Afterwards, you will be required to authenticate your PVC with either your thumb or index finger. If the operation is successful, you will hear
verification passed.
Once this is done, the card reader displays the message, the voter has been accredited. Once you have been passed, the card reader will reject any further attempt to readmit an already accredited voter.
Verification failed.
Well, that's how it's going to work on election day. So we'll keep you updated on how to use the voters card and the permanent voters card. We'll come back to continue our conversations, but this time we'll bring in retired Brigadier General Willie Obene, who joins us on telephone from Abuja. Hello, General. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you. Good evening.
Yes, General, a quick question here. The victories that have been won so far. Now, we've had our two guests in Abuja and here in Lagos talk about the fact that it's a process. While Mr. Adigbuyi believes that, yes, we've won some victories, it's just a battle that isn't won, and the mind of the people needs to be reached out to so that they do not yield themselves to be used as suicide bombers. Now, Dr. Udenta believes it's a process that has just begun and it will continue until the final point. What is your position?
Well, first and foremost, let me make some clarifications with regards to. Now, Boko Haram is homegrown terrorist group. When you say it's homegrown, it means that it developed and sprouted within the borders of Nigeria by Nigerians. Mohammed Yusuf was a Nigerian, and he started Boko Haram. To describe Boko Haram as a ragtag army, I think it's an unfair judgment.
Why is it unfair?
By generality of people that have made comments about Haram. Boko Haram might have started as a ragtag army, but what we have to, Boko Haram is an international terrorist organization. And the facts to show that foreign fighters, FF, have also infiltrated into the ranks of Boko Haram, regardless of the fact that they are operating within the precincts of Nigerian borders. Also makes it international terrorist group. So we should not dismiss Boko Haram as a ragtag army against a conventional and well-established Nigerian military. Having said that, I want to lend my voice to what the two speakers have said, and both of them, in a sense, are very correct. It is difficult because terrorism mixed with insurgency is an asymmetric warfare. It is not a conventional warfare. There are no borders. There are no rules of engagement on the part of the enemy. Therefore, it will take time to defeat terrorism. In fact, experts will try not to say defeat terrorism, but we say degrade terrorism, because of the international ramifications of terrorism. Therefore, to degrade Boko Haram will take a process, a planned out process, a deliberate planned process. And if you look at the president's approach, the president decided to what I will call the carrot and stick approach. And in the carrot side of it, the Office of the National Security Advisor has done a lot. A lot of programs have been lined up to win the hearts and minds. In fact, let me interject here and say that I totally agree with Mr. Adigbuyi, that the issue of winning the hearts and minds of the populace is very important, is key in the fight against terrorism. And Mr. President, through the National Security Advisor's Office, has lined up a lot of activities. I'll give you an example. There is the CVE program, the Counter-Violent Extremism program, the PINE program, the presidential initiative in the Northeast, that is socio-economic oriented, and of course the recently adopted counter-terrorism strategy. On the other side of the stick is what the military is doing. Our territorial integrity is threatened, and by virtue of the new equipment that have come in, we are beginning to make gains. We are beginning to take back those territories. That is not to say that after we finish taking over the territories, that is the end of Boko Haram. I don't think so. I had an opportunity to say this at some other forum, that look, we must as a nation protect and secure our borders. As I speak to you, ISIS and ISIL are already in the Islamic Maghreb. And I expect, I'm not a prophet of doom, that I'm expecting a second wave of terrorism if we are not careful. Because if you look at the logistics
General Bende,
that are being supplied to Boko Haram behind enemy lines, who are these people?
General Bende, if I may come in here, there's the situation that, or the question that many people are asking is, the entire process has been handled with some sort of levity and spending, with a total spending of about 6.2 trillion naira. Why the delay in taking serious actions against these insurgents?
Well, I do not know how much is spent. But whatever is spent, you cannot carry pounds or dollars or foreign currency to the war front and it turns to guns. Guns are weapons, equipment are ordered. Okay? It is not that some of them can be fabricated, but some of them are existing. And there are a lot of protocols of movement of weapons, of military hardware. It is not an ordinary merchandise. It's not just ordinary goods that you move through borders and just bring it into your country. It goes through international protocols. Any weapon that is passing through any border, it must be properly documented and inspected. Okay, so this takes time. If you order for any equipment, even if it is ready in the factory, you go for pre-shipment inspection, you go for demonstrations before. You don't just go and buy a tank and bring it into operation. Now, most of these tanks that are also the equipment that are being brought in, troops have to use them. Without the man behind the equipment is useless. Therefore, there is also the training and retraining.
Okay, does this give credence to the news then?
For you to be able to use them and also maintenance.
Does that mean that our troops were not equipped as earlier reported?
After some time, there will be operational fatigue or problems. And so you also need the manpower to be able to maintain this equipment. So the procedure to bring in military equipment is not just going to buy designer shoes and perfume.
General Bende, does it mean our troops were not properly equipped, as many people had speculated before?
Well, I don't think that is no more news. Even the president has said that. The late General Azazi, the former National Security Advisor, has also said that, look, Nigeria was not prepared for this type of war. Most countries are not ready because it's an asymmetric warfare. Okay? And like I said, there are no rules of engagement.
Okay.
Because there is indiscriminate use of weapons by the enemy.
All right. Thank you very much. Brigadier General Willie Obene joins us from Abuja via telephone.